Well, today I went on the road again. Just can't wait to be. Anyhow, I was traveling. I don't remember what the name. Hardenberg. I think the farthest place from Amsterdam I reached was Hardenberg, and I had to go black on the train because, poof, I ain't got no money. So the ways I went. This video is about the ways I went black on the train and my experiences with that. So the first thing is I went to Isolatenweg and I went in and I had to check out. So I went directly to the person that checks the tickets and I asked him if I have a cup of water because I actually did not have water. So he said maybe next station there. So he said, oh, maybe you can go to ask a cup of water or something. So he said next station maybe there is. I said next station maybe there is, and I went on the train. And then I went to Sloterdijk, and I sort of like if you check in, then you go behind the counter and you check out, and that's how I went on the train station. You have to have 60 euros in your ticket to be on the train station, which is why I had to check out, because it's like emergency. It's not my money. That ticket is somebody that gave it to me, and they work very hard for their money, so I don't want to waste their money. This is emergency stuff, like if I have to go, one station on the metro or something like that. So that's good to have. And then I also did get tickets. So this is important. I am homeless, so you don't want to try this if you're not homeless without checking, This is not how to ride black on the metro. It's just to sharing my experiences as a homeless person. Because I have no address and I also don't have BSN. I have a Dutch passport, but I don't have BSN because I never lived in the Netherlands. And so I can't open a bank account, so I cannot pay my tickets. This is not me wanting to ride black on the train. I want to do readings. I want to charge for these readings. I want to work and I want to be a nomad and I want to have a home and I want to buy land, like the song goes. Buy dirt. So it's not me trying to show you how to trick the system. It's just survival, literally, because I need my space and my time and my bathroom and a place where I can fall asleep without, anybody waking me up or something like that. So that's just that. Now that we've covered this, next way I went on the train black. So I was going out and there was a couple leaving and I went in between them and I saw them like, what? The next time, memorable one, I was on the train that went from Berlin to Amsterdam. I wasn't in Berlin. I will be in Berlin, I promise, and I will tell you about that. It's a very beautiful train and it has Wi-Fi on, fortunately, because I heard Berlin is like a Wi-Fi desert or something. I was on a train to Aachen and there was no Wi-Fi on the There is no Wi-Fi on the Arriva. No Wi-Fi on the Arriva. Trains, you've been warned. That being said, I met two beautiful ladies that were just thinking of what to study and how to work, and I was just thinking to myself that, when you're homeless, you're like, I want a home, I want a home, I want a home, and I was like sitting on the train, and I'm like, but I don't want to work in, one place. I want to travel and I want to maybe do my readings to people when I'm traveling. So if you want to get a reading from me, that's 50 euro. And the only way I can charge you is like the equivalent in Ethereum. So you can pay me in Ethereum and I can make an experiment of getting, payment in Ethereum. I don't know what to do with banking, international banking. If you are a nomad, let me know. How do you do banking? Do you have an address? What do you do with your technology? Because internet is like crazy. If you go out of the train or not in a restaurant or something, so you have no Wi-Fi, it's kind of like, that's really strange. Although people did get along without Wi-Fi, I just want to know if I can be covered and what do I need to do, and also telephone, like how to speak with people. Communication. Perhaps it's easier than I thought. Anyhow, there was one German girl and one Finnish, and what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I'm white. I'm all white. Never mind that. Go on. So, we were talking about job and being a nomad and doing what you want, and they were telling me that it's really true, the myth of Nordic countries, where if you do your own thing, they kind of put you down, kind of look back at you. And I told them I was born and raised in Israel, and in Israel it's the other way around because everybody has a startup. So it was interesting. And then one goes, we talk, and then they go out of the metro, and I go out with them, and we talk, and I tell them, I write black, and nothing happens. And that was a conversation, and that was lovely. So that was another time I went black on the train, and just today. And when I came back, it was the Isolatorweg, and Isolatorweg is quite stale. Like, you really do want to have some ticket with you. If you do that, because maybe ask somebody to buy you or something, just like emergency, because Isolatorweg, it was like one person, he came with a dog, and I love pets. I'm going to make a whole video about pets and how I travel looking for pets. Anyway, he was traveling with his dog, and he went out with his dog, and I saw him pushing away. I think he was traveling back black with his dog, because he was like pushing away the door of the disabled entrance to the Isolatorweg train, and I just went after him. And I don't know if we both rode black, if he had a ticket or whatnot. And in Hardenberg, I was going out of the train, and I was looking for what's going to happen to me. Nothing happened to me. There was nobody there. I was just going out of the train. There was not even a place that you have to go through, because it's a small village. Although also in Maastricht there is no special, you don't have to go through those things that you and then you just check in, check out the old way. I heard it's that way in Berlin as well, but I don't know. If you live in Berlin, let me know. So that is one of my the tickets. I forgot to tell about the tickets. So the first time I got a ticket, I rode to Aachen through the whole Netherlands. I think 4 or 5 hours of ride in Netherlands. I did not run into any bureau person on the train. And then I reached Aachen, and there was no Wi-Fi, and I was like, I can't go on. And also I had to go back to my shelter. So I went back, and I met a German officer. And fortunately, I speak a bit German, so I could speak with him. And I think he said to himself, I want to know as little as possible about this person with the Dutch passport that has no address and is going out of the country, and I'll just write them the report. I'll just get away with that, and I don't let her tell me all her stories, which was smart and not smart, because I had really funny stories. But it was really German. It was really German. It was like, it's like, I have to write the ticket, and he just like, I just have to do my job. And I'm like, I'm third generation to the Holocaust. So it was really, really ironic. It's kind of like, I just have to do my job, He had to do his job. Otherwise he would be like me, homeless. Huh? So he wrote me the ticket. That was 60 euros that I cannot pay because I don't have access to banking. Ta-da! It's not that I don't want to pay. It's not that I not able to pay, because I'm sure if they let me work, I can make money and I can pay and I'll do a lot of things. But the bureaucracy is blocking me from transaction. The wonders of being abused survivor and survivor of human trafficking attempts to human trafficking. So that was one officer. The other officer I met was at the Arriva, really nice person. Again, had to do his job, and wait until you hear the third. This is the second. So he met me on the train, and I told him, like, I don't have a ticket, I'm going back to my shelter, I came from Israel, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him, how many people did you write a ticket to today? He was asking where I'm from. I was like, I'm from Kfar Saba, where I was born. I told him Kfar Saba, and he had to actually write it, say, how many people did you write a ticket today that were born in Kfar Saba, Israel? So we had like a nice conversation, and then he told me good luck on my journey, because I told him our shelters, I don't know when do they open, when do they close, what will be with me. I'm not going to survive in the street, you know, who am I? So he was just wishing me a nice journey, and I told him I travel because I much rather travel than, you know, much rather deal with officers that write me tickets and are pleasant and kind than running away from people in the streets. Really scary. And also, if you want to sleep somewhere, I hope I won't have to sleep in the streets, but I much rather sleep in like a village where I can just, you know, sleep in somebody's backyard or something, which is another story. And I do tell it on this video. Oh God, this is going to be a video. So, back to the third officer. So the third officer I met today, and he was, I think, the train to Utrecht. No, to Zwolle. No, to Utrecht. To Utrecht. To Zwolle was the Arriva. Arriva, you need Wi-Fi. People are sneaking into the train black. They need Wi-Fi. So the third one, he was really nice. Not only did he how to do his job, of course, yes, but he told me, listen, he showed me where the rubrics. He was like, this means that you are homeless. And he knows that I go back to the Regenboog in Amsterdam. So it's like, you go to the Regenboog, they're going to write it off, because they see it on your ID, on your passport, and they're going to, he's just explaining to me that they're going to write it off. You just have to write it on. And it's just a procedure. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a nice human being. And I was told, like, you know, when I spoke with the people here in the Regenboog, there's a person who has a home, but he said in the 90s it was like a heaven to be in Amsterdam. And now it's no longer. So people wait even 20 years for public housing. I remember when I was in my 20s, we didn't move to Netherlands because it was like 3-4 years that you had to wait for public housing. And you have to be in Netherlands. So where would we be, right? And you know, in the black market and so on. So nice conversations with nice people. And another person that worked here used to live in the cracks, which is just squatting or just invading empty buildings, and then they closed it. And there was an organization that is called Anti-Crack that was against cracks, so they used to have like buildings in very cheap rent for people, so that they would not invade. So it was like, I was registered in the Anti-Crack, but they don't have buildings just yet. So I was like, oh, if the Anti-Crack doesn't work, I totally feel this. If you hear about another crack, then let me know. You know? This is so weird. And today I had a lot of adventures. I played the previous video that I put with the golden retriever. I was actually outside after I invaded a bathroom. I needed a bathroom. In Netherlands, you don't have, it's also in Israel, you don't have public, you know, restrooms, especially not in little villages or so. Because in Amsterdam, I've seen some. But the thing is, I needed a bathroom, and I'm Channeler, so my guidance led me into a house. They were like, "You're invading a house," and I'm like, "You're kidding me!" I just opened the door, and he said, "What do you need?" I said, "Bathroom." I said, "Well, you go bathroom." I went to the bathroom, and I literally entered the bathroom. And then I heard the family there. I think there were children there. And I'm like, oh my God, they're probably shit scared of me. Because, you know, I was just going to the bathroom. And I took their soap. Because the soap here did not manage to wash my clothes. So I just took their soap and a little towel that was there and some toilet paper. I'm sorry. That's homeless life. Like, you never know where you're gonna, I need to be hygienic. And then I went out of the house. And then I saw a golden retriever, and he was like, play with me, play with me. I play with him, and then I was like, come in. I was like, coming in. I went into the yard and I played with the golden retriever in his yard. If you have a golden retriever, it is not a guarding dog. He will play with your invaders in the yard. So I played with the golden retriever, and that was really sweet. And then his parents came up, and I told them, like, do you know of a shelter here around? I said, we just wanted to play. I played with him, and I said, I'm Chandler. He called me in. And they were like really sorry that they couldn't help me. Like, I literally invaded their yard, and they were sorry that they couldn't help me. I mean, I saw that the woman was distressed, but they were like, I guess they were seeing that I'm not the person who's going to do them any harm or anything like that. Just invade their house and sleep there. Maybe take some food, But that was so funny, and then I just kept on, and I have the picture of it. That was such a beautiful golden retriever. Oh my god. So I was following the animals, and I was feeding some animals, some chickens and some goats. I hope I will have power to edit the video and add the pictures and stuff. If not, you can follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, but I upload it on social media as long as I have Wi-Fi and I'm alive and so on and so forth. And it was so beautiful because, I could get in the situation of like panic, which I partially did. And then my guidance would lead me to travel and to meet animals. And immediately you forget all your troubles because you make troubles. But, it's harmless troubles. But what did I steal? A face. I'll show you. If this belongs to you, you can meet me up at Transformative X6. And the toilet paper, because sometimes you need those. Just toilet paper. So those are my adventures. And instead of, running away from people in the streets, I much rather, do childish play. And I saw a beautiful Doberman. Oh, he was waiting at the train station. And I saw today an old English sheepdog. And the behavior of the dog was lazy. And she reminded me a bit of my own old English sheepdog that I had until 14 years of age. It was there before I was born. It was JR. And I told her about JR and Lady. And that was like, oh my God, what a beautiful thing, on the train. She said they don't have them a lot in Netherlands. And yeah, they were very cautious dogs. They're not easy to train because they have their own mind. My JR was also not so easy to train. But it was like, and I told her, I saw her, I was in the train, and I saw her, and I was like, if she comes into the train, I go back. If she stays there, I go out of the train to pet the dog, and then I take the next train. And I literally told her that. She was very kind to me. I guess she's used to having people bothering her. But Lizzie she did want me to pet her, but she felt like not comfy from the mother. I guess the mother just didn't like people so much or something like that. But the mother, she was very kind to me. It's just the channeling that I got from Lizzie. And I was so happy. It's like follow the thread of, there were horses. There are horses in the ranch right next to Transformatorweg. And I might volunteer there if I'll be able to walk on my feet, because it is the physical job. Like, I cannot walk on my feet a lot. But I saw the horses, which was also another story, because I just came around and I thought maybe it's dangerous. I didn't know, I'm new. I didn't know if it's dangerous in here or not dangerous in here. And my guy's like, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Oh, it is sakanatne for sure. It's like, oh my God, what? And they were just joking with me, like, but come there. And then I see the ranch, and it's free. You can actually go in, And I see the horses, and the horses are like, ask if she needs a job, if she needs employees, a volunteership, and she does. And so I might volunteer there tomorrow evening. I have to be there at 5 o'clock, and see the horses. And there were also 2 dogs. They were so beautiful. Oh my God. So yeah, this is my my story. And yeah, actually, when I was in Aachen, haven't like visited Aachen. I didn't go out of the train because I had to go back. It was kind of scary, an old German and no Wi-Fi, and a little Jewish girl sneaking into the train in Germany. Not a PC joke, but I had to tell it. So yeah. That's the thing. It's like, who would have thought that in these circumstances I'll be having such a life, you know? Because you never know what happens. You know, you have people working all their lives for something, and then they lose their job because of COVID, and then they no longer have health insurance, and they don't have a home. And all of the safety things that they were working for their entire lives are being taken from them, and they can't even go on the train without it being right in black. So when you work, you pay taxes. And when you are in a crisis, then, you know, then they tell you the shelter is 20 minutes walk when it's 20 minutes ride. They tell you they don't know if you can stay or not, and the government decides or not decides, and you know, a winter shelter, and then you go and you don't know if you have a shelter. And this is the Netherlands, you know. This I have the most one of the most valuable passports in the world, except maybe green card or something. And I was raised and born in Israel, which is also a welfare state. And if you know, if this happens in our countries, the most developed countries, and you know, Western Europe, in the Middle East, Israel is probably one of the most, if not the most developed country in the Middle East, in all ways, shapes, and forms. And Netherlands. And the States, I met people from the States. I met at least 2 people from the United States here that did not have a way to go back to the United States, and the embassy did nothing. If this happens with us, then, you know, what will the people who come from lesser developed countries or more oppressed countries, I'd like to call it, rather than less developed, because they are oppressed and that's why they're not developed, including Palestine, including Africa, including, you know, whichever country you can think of that is not developed, or developing countries. But that's, you know, for another day. So that was my story. If I have the time and the Wi-Fi, the energy to edit it and add some photos here, I will. If not, follow me on social media. I'm Tali Shore on Twitter. I'm Shirley Tali Youngblood on Facebook. I am Shirley Youngblood on Instagram. And when you follow me, you also, and I publish something every day. So when you follow me, you also make sure that that I published and that I'm alive, and I publish my case for a survivor of human trafficking in Polaris. So this way you can follow me and track and make sure that I'm still alive and still existing and I still have a place. And if there is something you can do about stopping human trafficking, then you can also DM and contact me. Or if you have a case you would like to share, that could also be the case. So I'm in contact with Polaris, and I'll update you with whichever developments there are in the topic, because so many apartments are occupied by human trafficking apartments, and that needs to change, because these are people, and oppressed people and children. C'est tout, et c'est la vie. Bye. Wait. Show them. The soap. Oh my god, I have to tell you about this thing. this soap. It smells like something you give to dogs. But it's a soap. And it's one of those fancy soaps. It's one of those fancy soaps. And it looks so weird. And it smells so weird. But this is the soap that I stole from. I'm complaining about the soap that I stole from the bathroom. And I'm like, what is this thing? Is this like a bone for dogs or something? And this is soap. It doesn't smell good. I'll just leave it there. But it helped me to clean my shoes. Not my shoes, my socks. Or something. I need essential oils. Please, get me essential oils. The Transform out of X6. Rosemary, lavender, mint, orange, angelica, black pepper, sandalwood, and anything. Palo Santo. What is this?